So Donald Trump wins the 2024 presidential election. How did he do it? And what does this mean for America going forward? Well, how did he do it? Is it because the American people saw him as a strongman candidate, the businessman that's going to fix our economy and all of these things? I don't really think so. I think what happened is America is following a similar global trend where incumbent governments are being ousted because people are upset with inflation that followed the COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen this in several different countries around the world, and America is not unique there. And they saw Kamala Harris as an extension of the Joe Biden administration, which they are blaming for the inflation. We're just going to ignore that the Biden economy is actually incredibly strong, and he's actually done a good job of containing and even decreasing inflation. But the perception among the American people is that the economy is struggling, and they did better under Donald Trump. And this brings up a point I want to mention. A whole lot of what wins elections aren't facts, they aren't the evidence, it's vibes. And I think really the results of the last two presidential elections can be explained through vibes and vibes alone. The 2020 election was not won by Joe Biden because Joe Biden was just a superior candidate and just much better than Donald Trump. It was won because COVID-19 hit during the Donald Trump presidency and everyone was pissed off about it. So they wanted to punish the Donald Trump presidency and replace him with someone. It could have been anyone. It didn't have to be Joe Biden. Now, do I think that was the correct decision at the time? Absolutely. Joe Biden was definitely the better candidate, but he didn't win because of that. He won because vibes. And right now, the vibe is that Joe Biden's administration is at fault for inflation and the economy is not good. So we needed someone else. And unfortunately, we brought in Donald Trump. As far as the Harris campaign goes, do I think there was anything she could have done better? Well, probably a few things, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think she was always going to lose. I think now that we have the evidence available, she was going to lose no matter what she did. In fact, the only reason this race was ever close at all is because Donald Trump, that guy right there, is so incredibly unlikable and unpopular among so many Americans. Had Nikki Haley managed to beat him in the Republican primary, this would be a complete landslide victory, and we would have known going into Tuesday that Harris had no chance to win whatsoever. But what does this mean for America going forward? Well, to be honest with you, we don't really know. We are going to have to wait and see. What most economists suggest is if Donald Trump implements his economic plans, especially tariffs, inflation's going up. So good job, voters. You voted against inflation by voting for the pro-inflation candidate. And as far as other things go, we'll have to wait and see. I do think America will be fine in the long term. I think our institutions are strong enough, and I think there will be a strong enough opposition to Donald Trump to prevent the very worst things of his presidency. Will some bad things happen? Yes, absolutely. And sadly, that's unavoidable. Now, where I really feel there is some major concern is actually in the foreign policy era. Palestine is screwed. There's simply no other way to put it. So if you voted against Harris over that, good job. You just voted for the person that's going to give Benjamin Netanyahu the green light to finish the job. I feel really bad for Ukraine because Donald Trump, he's buddies with Vladimir Putin. So Ukraine might not have the U.S. backing them much longer. And frankly, I don't think Europe can handle it without us. They're going to have to try, and I wish them the best luck. Successful. But I'm skeptical that they can be. And there's many other things like that. But guys, that's what it is. Kamala Harris conceded. I said there was only one side that would accept the election results if they lost, and that was the Harris side. and she did. At the end of the day, the American people voted, and they voted for Donald Trump. I don't like it, but I accept the results.